Wes. Welcome to the Damu Keyway conversation. It's Duse M's the dime. And salute to everybody who's up in here, man. Go ahead and hit that like button. We got the content. You know what I'm saying? Let me fix this a little bit. I think I gotta bring it a little closer. Get that closer and I can move back. For my legs, I'm at the people's house, you know what I'm saying? Pardon the delay, you know what I'm saying? We had to set up the backdrop so you see that active chucks back there, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody in the chat. Kingdom the Great, salute. Hit that like button if you haven't already done it. Beautiful black lady. Salute to the chat, spending time with family tonight. Me too, but I'm gonna run the content. For sure. You know what I'm saying? Big Marcus, salute. Active Chucks. Salute, man. Sepulveda the Prince. Say, man. Hey, man. You know what I'm saying? You already know what it is, right? You know what it is, right? You know what I'm saying? Salute, West, free the big OG. Big U, salute to you. Duse M's the dime. From the 318 Sweet Port, Louisiana. Salina. Salute to the chat. Welcome to the Damu and Keyway Conversations. Make sure you hit the like button as you enter and listen to the content. Shout out Damu Keyway Conversations. Let's get some music going. Turn this thing up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We can go to the comments now. So, Kid the Barber, salute, bro. You already know what it is. Hit that like button off top. Hit that like button off the bat. Or stopping the Field podcast. Now, he just looked at Effie Weffy. All right, I put my glasses off for that one. Hey, what's your grandfather? Salute to everyone in the chat. Salute. Southern Force, salute to the Damu Keyway family. Ricky, salute to Duse the dime. Salute to the Damu Keyway family. Let's go. Shout out to the Blue Wrench Mob. Carolina Connect TV. Salute to the Blue Wrench Mob. Duse M's, Yael, what up? Damu Keyway. Duse making a few adjustments to his laptop. Stand by, all right? Yeah, man, good looking out for passing the message to the humble G-Mac. 2-in-1, that's 2P, 1B, according to Bible Road. OG Mac. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everyone. I'll be in and out, but listening, we appreciate the support. You know what I'm saying? From whatever position is permitted by circumstances and time. Hold on, what is that? Oh, WACK100 CS2 back. 3-finger whack. CO2 back and CS2 badge. Wack 5 with thick thighs. Gets a colonoscopy check 2 times a week. CS2 stands for Certified Snitch 2.0. Y'all is on what? Wack ain't got ops, he got open cases. CS2 rap. He read people that writes. He the only one in the hood with a badge emoji in his username, right? CS2 back, more like K-Sauce too fast. Oh, that's nasty work. Hey, Levi, come here. Sit your ass over here. G-Mac, what up? Y'all see what it is, man. Hit that like button. If y'all don't want to hit the like button, that's cool too. Miranda Wright Wack never remain silent on other people's business and reflects on his own. Hey, that's a fact. When Wack says I got paperwork, he means on everyone. When Wack says I got the work, he means R&B, BBL, R&BBL gone wrong. They say her shit smelling like Cardi B, nigga like trash. PRB Black. Salute to all in the chat. Duse M, salute Kingman, salute to you. I really appreciate the support. You know what I'm saying? CS2 back, got the body cam built into his glasses. Southern Force, every time he drops a lie, someone gets indicted. Renegade Duchess, salute, queen. How you doing? I think those are R&B blind ass glasses. Nah. Wack don't diss, he be briefs. Pinky Mac, salute Duse M, salute entire Dummy Keyway movement. The boy got shades on, getting money on. You understand what I'm saying? Salute right in time for the family dinner. Oh man, Charger City, bless it forever. Shout out to Charger City. Shout out to Dayon Henley, man. We got the youth camp for the kids coming up, man. Y'all go online and make sure that y'all register online, because if you do that, the kids are guaranteed when the shirts and everything else run out. If you just walking up, that was your bag. You know what I'm saying? D-Max said wacky rack glasses that come with a year's supply of Windex and paper roll. CS2 600 on live today. No, I was trolling. Look from the loot. I appreciate that stroll through the hood, Deuce. Oh man, you know, I was just taking a little something. It gets a lot deeper than that. Miss Lisa Dollar Man, let me hold something, Deuce. Them shades telling me you got it. Hey man, a month, everything glitter ain't gold. You gotta keep a motherfucker off balance, a little warm, a little cold. Fan West TV2, salute, that's up at the Sucks 100. Black Power, strong, blessed kid. Salute to the chat. 600 got a fight next month too. In Mexico, Mike B was Blackness. Salute to the bro. Duke was West Side Gang. You already know what to do. Bloody Main 5. What's up with you, bro? Glad you up in here today. Spirit Wonder. Shout out to the DeJa34 conversation in the chat. I'm cutting right now, but we listening though. Hey, Kid the Barber is me up on the big screen though. I know you listening, but is me up on the big screen. Aftermath White. Salute to the chat and Duse M John. Detroit chapter of the Resistance on the check-in. Shout out to the team, nigga. Shout out to Detroit. You understand? Real players and us out of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? In the Detroit chapter of the Resistance. It's tapping in on the check-in. PS2 roll. If you see something, say something. Wax OG badge. He accidentally flashed, had an eagle up top. That means FBI or CIA. And FBI don't run guns across state lines. The CIA do. Wack is CIA, bro. Hey, Bayou Cassell, I'm going to look into that because I think you got a point there. I've been thinking that this is bigger than just an FBI investigation, that he's actually working with the CIA. They don't start that crime, boy. He wears a vest, but it's for undercover work. They own one in the chat. Wack went platinum in cooperation. Dudes, Mike D, Sam West, G-Mac, Lou, Kid the Barber, our people up in here. When he says I was outside, he meant softening out the crap. Miguel Wayne, what's good? Southside Graham, stopping by to show some support to the family. Shout out to the South. Y'all know what it is. 5-9s, man. You know what I'm saying? Basement Block in Ocean View. Mike B, Spirit Wonder, Ricky. Everybody gets show you right. You know what I'm saying? Salute. You all out just hitting the like button, y'all. Be easy. Appreciate that. Fam West, salute. You know what I'm saying? Salute. Yay, area, Detroit or South Richmond, 510 to the west side of Detroit, Puritan Ave. The D up in here, bro. Richtown up in here, man. You know what I'm saying? CS2 running back. I talk to the union. I talk to the union. Blood makes us related. Loyalty makes us family. That's a fact, Miguel Wayne. Suppose the prince say, man, Wack Boris got a wiretap clearance, nigga. They don't call him OG, they call him officer general. You know what I'm saying? Marty Jones, salute. What up, though, Poor Righteous Student? What up, though, Duse M in the chat. Detroit, Memphis on the check-in. Shout out Detroit and Memphis on the check-in. The Yate area, Detroiter, Mobile, salute. You know what I'm saying? So, we're going to get deep into this early because I ain't even at the house, so we're not finna do this all day, and y'all got me looking up. So what I might have to do is take this off this box. You know what I'm saying? What's in here? I don't think nothing in here anyway. Oh, yeah, it is something in here. Damn. You know what I'm saying? So what we gonna do is we finna get straight to the content. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get to the content. Hit that like button. All my peoples up in there. All the funky peoples. So we gonna talk about CS2 back. All right, let's go. All right, shout out to Channel Black. You know what I'm saying? I paid him to do the documentary that to put together the documentary. He asked me, I pay him $400. He asked me, remember, I'm broke though. You know what I'm saying? Remember that. You know what I'm saying? Nigga pay his bills. Niggas pay to get content put together, all of that, but I'm broke. I guess my broke better than these niggas up. You know what I'm saying? But in any event, I paid him $400 to do this. At the time, he was they were all playing the death of the Clout Chasers, was playing like they was cool with us. They was with the resistance, but the whole time they was working with Wack. But we gonna get to this. He asked, could he do the documentary on Wack? And I had told him, yeah. So he's done a series of them, but this one is pretty good. It's WACK100, CS2 back, full paperwork, alleged Main Street Mafia Crip case, and the DeJa34 Records investigation. Let's get into it.
And how's it feel to really know about it? He got paperwork. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. What are you doing? You bitch ass nigga. Why you telling?
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to Channel Black. Today in this video, we're going to break down how WACK100 or confidential source number 2 allegedly is a federal informant in a Main Street Mafia Crips case that took place back in 2008. Hit that like button and let's get right into the paperwork.
The subscribe button. When I beat you on Power Rule, you going to bed.
Here's a short breakdown of the paperwork exposing WACK100 as a confidential source for the feds. Allegedly. Man, these are not my opinions and or assumptions. You're going to hear directly from the co-defendants on this case saying that WACK100 snitched, and also from the arresting officers and maybe even the handler. So let's get right into it.
Lawsuit. Shaq told me to kill people. Shaquille O'Neal requested and directed his former friend to kill several people, including a gang member. Those are the shocking allegations in a new lawsuit. Shaq's former pal Robert Ross, an ex-gang member, is suing O'Neal for allegedly masterminding a plot to have him kidnapped by other gang members back in 2008.
Is Shaquille O'Neal at the center of a sex tape scandal? The attorney for a man allegedly linked to the case is speaking out. His client is one of several men accused of kidnapping and beating a man believed to possess a tape that reportedly shows Shaq with women.
Former Lakers center Shaquille O'Neal is now at the center of a courtroom drama involving sex, lies, and videotape. Shaq's friend, Liddell Rolls, the alleged leader of the Main Street Mafia Crips gang, is accused of directing 6 other alleged gang members to kidnap, beat, and rob this man, Robert Ross, who claimed to have a sex tape starring Shaquille O'Neal and a woman other than Shaq's then-wife, Shawnee.
It's a fascinating case.
Attorney Vincent Oliver is defending Eddie Hill, known as Lil Wes, one of the alleged gang members accused in this case.
Wait, ain't that exactly what the paperwork said? That in the exact terms, having sex with a woman, not his wife. So this, remember that when they say that we made fake paperwork, the news people, we must have already seen all of this. But these are the people that were charged. Now, the investigation, they were trying to connect Mark Stevens and Shaquille O'Neal and WACK100 to these dudes. Let's go.
Oliver says Ross admits he tried to blackmail Shaq with an alleged sex tape.
Part of the extortion plot was that he...
Wait. Now, so Robert Ross tells on WACK100, if you believe WACK100, and in this case, we believe WACK100. He tells on him about the extortion and blackmail tape. That's in his statement, implicating WACK100 and bringing the message to Money Mark Stevens and Shaquille O'Neal that Boss got a sex tape and that TMZ will pay a lot of money for it. That implicates him in a crime that Big U is locked up for right now. Big U is locked up for alleged extortion. Blackmail. How come WACK100 is getting away with it? And even when he got the main culprit of the blackmail admitting to it. These are the things that y'all just overlook, bro. They tried to extort him 2 weeks after Wack brought the message to Mark Stevens and Shaquille O'Neal. Stutterbox was kidnapped at the behest of Liddell Ross, allegedly. And these are the people that he used. That's the 7 main streets that WACK100 claimed that he saved. Let's go.
The alleged gang members accused in this case. Oliver says Ross admits he tried to blackmail Shaq with an alleged sex tape.
Part of the extortion plot was that he wanted 50% of all of the proceeds of a person by the name of Reggie, who's a major rap artist.
Shaquille O'Neal is not charged in this case, but a letter from the LA County Sheriff's Department to a judge indicates more charges could come against the former basketball star. A homicide captain writes a, quote, celebrity who believed Ross was having an affair with his wife enlisted the help of 7 gang members to kidnap, rob, and assault Ross. The letter says the celebrity and his manager are being investigated and more charges may be filed.
So how is WACK100 involved in this case? It's simple. You look at the paperwork and or talk with the individuals directly involved in the case.
So if you want to find out how WACK100 was involved with this case, you look at the paperwork. We're giving you a step-by-step booklet. You look at the paperwork and you interview the guys involved with the case. How else could you find out whether or not he was involved? Obviously, you can hear some of the things he say, and then you could decipher whether he's being misleading, whether he's lying, and all of that in comparisons with all of the other facts that you researched and gathered. Well, that's what we do. Real journalism over here. So we don't see none of these little niggas.
K-Slade, Money Mark.
The biggest thing for me is reliability. Somebody that stands behind their word. You know, when they tell you they're going to do something, they're going to do it.
We're going to get into this content.
My next generation fan,
let's get into let these commercials go. Hit that like button if you're just coming in. Lord Breezy's box.
In order to clearly understand how WACK100 came to snitch by wearing a wiretap,
allegedly,
we must first examine this case by basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal and the Main Street Mafia Crips out in Los Angeles. On February 10, 2008, victim Robert Ross was kidnapped from the parking lot of the Pink Dot, a business located on Sunset Boulevard in the city of West Hollywood. Once at that location, he was assaulted and robbed of his jewelry and money. After being allowed to leave the location, Ross drove to the Los Angeles Police Department's 77th Division to report the crime. Los Angeles Police Department Detective Mark Arenas assumed the investigation from West Hollywood Sheriff's Station due to his involvement in an ongoing federal investigation involving the Main Street Crips. The investigation was delayed due to the ongoing federal investigation and wiretap case involving several of the suspects involved in the kidnap robbery. On July 16, 2008, investigators Fournier and Coet spoke with Detective Quintero regarding the above case.
Did you hear
investigators
the cop's name?
Told Detective Quintero.
Listen to the cop's name, Fournier and Coet.
Kidnap robbery. On July 16, 2008, investigators Fournier and Coet spoke with Detective Quintero regarding the above case.
Remember, Detective Coet is the one in my video. Well, it's in this video also. The lead investigators of the Main Street Mafia Crip investigation who said that WACK100 was the only one arrested, bro. Let's go.
Told Detective Quintero that they were assigned to a task force with the Los Angeles Police Department, and they were involved in the Main Street Crip investigation. Investigators requested this case be reassigned to them, and their request was granted. After reviewing the case, investigators formulated a plan to speak with suspects involved with the kidnapping, robbery, and assault of victim Ross. The purpose of this plan was to stimulate conversation on the wiretap. Investigators Paul Fournier and Michael Coet interviewed victim Robert Ross at the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Homicide Bureau. Investigators explained to Ross that they would now be handling his case and would like to obtain a detailed statement regarding the event. Ross, who was still upset over the fact he was owed money, Had a friend named Cash Jones deliver a message to Mark Stevens and Shaquille O'Neal. The kidnapping and robbery took
Stutterbox. This is Stutterbox's statement, Robert Ross's statement to investigators Fournier and Coet. And he's telling them that he had a friend named Cash Jones, his neighbor, deliver a message to Mark Stevens and Shaquille O'Neal. He was ratting on Wack. Wack didn't lie about that. He ratted on Wack and told him that he had Wack delivered a message to Shaquille and Mark Stevens that Stutterbox had a videotape of O'Neal having sex with a woman inside a Stutterbox home in July 2007.
Place approximately 2 weeks after Jones delivered the message to Stevens and O'Neal. On August 5th, 2008, at approximately 0922 hours, Liddell Rolls received a phone call from Mark Stevens. Attached is a copy of the transcribed call between Rolls and Stevens, which was intercepted pursuant to a federal Title III wiretap case, referred to session number 18202.
A few pages from the main.
Look, that's a key point. The whole time, all of this is going, the attempted blackmail and extortion attempts on Shaquille O'Neal and Money Mark Stevens. The whole time this is going on, the phones is already tapped, wiretap, and the feds is investigating the main streets for other things. So all of these niggas shit is already hit. So the feds knew everything these niggas talked about at the time of these crimes. Let's go.
Mafia Crips paperwork gets exposed by active Chucks.
The official voice and reactions of anything Big U.
And one of those pages is a federal transcript of a wiretap.
Nigga, I was a target. My house got raided. Nigga, I was a victim.
Let's play Stutterbox talking to Wack.
This is what I'm trying to figure out, though, Box. Help me understand this, because me and you both know that whole case was your thing. What is Mark saying I had to do with the case, bro?
Wack, listen, in the paperwork, it said you tried to call Dog, remember? His phone was hit. That's how they got on your line.
No.
And you play. That's what they say, Wack.
Back is calling on another line to Mark.
I talked to Dog, and I think Mark tried to set the three-way up.
Back is calling on another line to Mark.
I talked to Dog. Mark tried to set the three-way up.
Back was one of the names that Back is talking to Mark on another line. I talked to Dog. In fact, Mark was the one trying to hook up the three-way. This is what the paperwork say. Just listen to what he said. Let's back that up real quick because he's telling on himself. Let's go. This is good. Really good.
Back is calling on another line to Mark.
I talked to Dog. Mark tried to set the three-way up.
Back was one of the names that the feds used for confidential source number 2. Also says CS2. Back. CS2, for those who don't understand law, is the code word for confidential source.
The following is a transcript of a wiretap pursuant to a federal Title III wiretap case, session 18202. Date and time: August 5th, 2008, 9:22:38 to 9:29:39. Duration: 7 minutes 1 second. Dell tells Stevens that your boy Box went sour. CS2 Back wants Dell phone number. Back needs to talk to Dell. It's important. Dell talks about Box incident and Back wanting to talk to Dell. Mafia talk and someone talking too much. Box ? Sounds like Back has info on Box and talk about phone lines being compromised. Box punked the gang. 2 messages on Mark's phone. Mark is involved in the gang business and operations. Duke. Back is calling on another line to Mark. Transcribed by KLS. The following is a transcript between Mark Stevens and Dell Dog pursuant to a wiretap. Mark Stevens.
Hit me about 3 times. He want me to give him your number, so I was calling to clear it with you first before I give him your number. He called me and
Dell Dog.
I'm cool on that, brother. Oh, okay, so you don't want.
Right,
all right, so you don't want to do no holler. All right. What's up with you, though, man? We'll talk, man. You know, I just need to know, man. When I talk to Back, I'm just gonna tell that nigga, man, oh, man. Well, you know, homie, you been on the phone with. Dude, and you know, shame, you know what I'm saying. You right, man. No telling what lies he told a nigga on the phone. You know what I'm saying. And then, though, when you call the dude, you make the dude talk about certain stuff on the horn. You know. You know that's what they got going on. I ain't got no time for this, dude. I mean, you know that's good information. See, now I know how to. Like I said, I ain't been helping the whack boy in a minute. You know what I'm saying? He called me out of the blue yesterday. Not yesterday. Yeah. Last night left me 2 messages, and this morning, and I just need to know how to play it cool. You know what I'm saying? Nigga probably said, man, nigga going to jail, you know, laughing.
Conversation. Oh, this is nasty work. See, when you hear it with 2 different voices, it helps you to see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And now we getting bad reception down here. I might have to go upstairs and run the content because we on commercial and this thing is still going up. Let's stay active in the chat. It should come back on. You know what I'm saying? Damn, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It'll come back on. Yeah, let me hit that thing now.
Following excerpt is from
Said, I ain't been helping the whack boy in a minute. You know what I'm saying? He called me out of the blue yesterday. Not yesterday. Yeah. Last night left me 2 messages, and this morning, and I just need to know how to play it cool. You know what I'm saying? Nigga probably said, man, nigga going to jail, you know, laughing.
The following excerpt is from page 54. CS2 has provided reliable historical information concerning the MSMC, or Main Street Mafia Crip organization. However, CS2 is only aware of certain aspects regarding the organization's criminal activities and narcotic distribution network. CS2 has no knowledge or information regarding the methods in which narcotics are being transported to the Los Angeles area and distributed to Main Street Mafia Crip gang members. Additionally, CS2 is unable to provide information regarding the narcotic customers, flow of narcotics proceeds and methods that they are using to launder their narcotic proceed. CS2 is only able to identify a limited number of Main Street Mafia Crip gang members. CS2 is unable to provide specific information regarding the organization's extortion activities, methods of monetary collections and distribution of proceeds. CS2.
Key point. He had very little evidence about the Main Street Mafia's extortion activities. Why would they ask him about the extortions? Well, of course they'll ask him about the extortions because Stutterbox told him that he sent his friend Cash Jones to try to blackmail and extort Shaquille O'Neal and Money Mark Stevens. Nigga, pay attention. This nigga being CS2 back.
Is also unable to provide any information regarding the Main Street Mafia Crip association with other leaders of the other large gang organizations. CS2 is able to provide limited information regarding violent assaults committed by the Main Street Mafia Crips, including shootings, burglaries, and murders. CS2 is unwilling to testify in court against members of Main Street Mafia Crips because CS2 is fearful of retaliation against CS2 and or CS2's family. CS2 believes that if any member of the Main Street Mafia criminal organization becomes aware of CS2's cooperation with law enforcement, the organization will likely orchestrate the execution of CS2.
Tell you where they fucked up at. They stupid motherfucker said,
don't say
let me tell you these bozos did, Adam.
Tell me.
They went on this clip on World Star and said, I was a federal informant, and that I'm caught on wiretap. Now, these 2 things, right, are things that can be investigated. The wiretaps can be pulled.
Now, that wiretap shows an individual referred to as CS2 back or confidential source number 2, contacting another individual named Mark Stevens with the goal of getting in touch with a 3rd individual named Dale Dog. Dale Dog happens to be the head of the Main Street Mafia Crips at the time. And according to the wiretap, the CS2 back individual wanted to tell Dale Dog that his fellow Main Street named Stutterbox had quote-unquote gone sour, aka is snitching. But unbeknownst to Mark Stevens and the Main Street Mafia Crips, the gang was already under surveillance as part of an ongoing federal investigation. And an article from the LA Times back from 2011 also corroborates these wiretaps and paperwork being legitimate. It reads, in one wiretap phone conversation 6 months after the attack, Rawls told Stevens that Raw...
Listen, not only did Greg Caden corroborate that the paperwork was legitimate, because you hear these niggas, all I seen was some fake paperwork. Nigga, the LA Times, the police, and WACK100 have confirmed half of the shit that we said itself. I'm going to get some of these LA Times articles. Let's go.
Us, aka Stutterbox, had quote-unquote gone sour. This is from the LA Times. This article also says that investigators obtained phone records documenting a flurry of calls from Mark Stevens to Ladell Rawls, who's Del Dog, and other gang members around that time. So now that we know the paperwork is real and that the CS2 back individual actually exists, how do we know that this is WACK100, aka Cash Jones? Well, let's listen directly to the co-defendants from this case explain what happened and how they found out it was WACK100.
Allegedly.
Remember the individual named Stutterbox who the CS2 bag person was calling Del Dog to inform him had quote-unquote went sour? Well, according to him, Wack was actually the snitch in that case because on one of those wiretaps, he got caught giving up Stutterbox's address to Del Dog, and Del Dog sent some hitters at him, which resulted in Stutterbox getting his car shot up and WACK100 getting arrested for conspiracy to commit murder. Listen.
Police ass nigga talking about nigga, the first code of conduct is you don't talk to the police. Nigga, you is the police, nigga. Officer Wack, snitch ass 100. It should be silence and violence. This dude keep kicking my name. I told this nigga I'ma drown his ass, homie. On Main Street, I'ma drown. Cause I decided to let this buster ass nigga know I know what he did. Right? I'll get to some gangster shit. Nigga almost killed me and my baby mama. Put like 20 holes in my Rolls Royce. Make it up out of there. Wack see the bullet holes in my car the next day. He reaching out, trying to contact the nigga who supposed to be the boogeyman. I know where the nigga live at, behind my back. It's in the paperwork. All on Wiretap. That's why your house got ready, you bitch ass nigga. You conspiracy to commit murder, nigga. You buster ass nigga. But let me tell you how it play out. Call cuz, it's 3 niggas sitting in front of your house, cuz. Is these your homies, Wack? Oh no, box. I know who that is. I jet flew out the house with the fully. Them niggas probably almost shot each other trying to pull off. Almost shot each other. If I know what I knew now, I would have jumped over their car, cuz, ran across the lawn, kicked in Wack door, and killed cuz on Main Street. That's why your house got ready, you bitch ass nigga. You conspiracy to commit murder, nigga.
Y'all gotta work with me. I'm down in the basement.
You buster ass nigga on Main Street.
CS2 back is a
house got raided because he was on the wiretap.
What actually did you hear of WACK100 that the feds? Yeah, this shit is terrible. But haven't charged him for conspiring to murder.
He allegedly gave Dog my address, homie.
His head pass expired once he passed the exam. Let me make sure I close all these.
I told you that they was in front of my house, so somebody gave them the address. If I get killed, whoever gave him the address gonna get conspiracy to murder. But if I don't get killed, they can get conspiracy to attempted murder because they shot up my Rolls Royce, put 17 holes in my Rolls Royce.
Not only is Stutterbox saying that in this video, but also in other interviews. But he actually tells WACK100 the same fact to his face on a recorded phone call. And of course, WACK100 is the one that recorded this phone call.
Let's play Stutterbox talking to Wack.
This is what I'm trying to figure out, though, Box. Help me understand this, because me and you both know that whole case was your thing. What is Mark saying I had to do with this?
Wack, listen, in the paperwork, it said you tried to call Dog, remember?
That was your play. I had nothing to do with it. I was a victim.
They said when Dog called you, his phone was hit. That's how they got on your line.
No.
And you play. That's what they say, what?
No.
WACK100 still denies that the person in that paperwork, CS2 or confidential source number 2, named Back, is actually him.
On September 17, 2008, investigators interviewed Mark Edward Stevens at the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Homicide Bureau. Also present during the interview was Mr. Stevens' attorney, Nicholas Tonsig. Investigators asked Stevens how he first learned of the kidnapping investigation regarding Robert Ross. Stevens said after investigators left a message saying they wanted to talk to him regarding a kidnapping, an assault investigation occurring in Los Angeles, he deduced that Ross was the victim. He believed this because several months ago he received a phone call from Ross's brother and recording artist Ray J, telling him that Ross had been beaten up. Stevens later said he received calls from Ross's brother and Cash Jones. Within the next couple months, Stevens received a voicemail message from Ross stating, "I need to talk to you, man." Soon after, Stevens received a call from Cash Jones. Jones told him that Ross had a videotape of Shaquille having sex with a woman not his wife, at Ross's home, and that Ross could take the tape to TMZ and get a lot of money. He first said he was in Las Vegas when he received the phone calls from Ross's brother and Cash Jones telling him about Ross being assaulted.
WACK100 still denies that the person in that paperwork is actually him. Well, let's hear what the other co-defendant and the person who the CS2 back person was calling on that wiretap clear this up for us. Is CS2 back actually WACK100 or not?
You get a phone call from WACK100, Cash Jones. What did he contact you concerning?
He wanted to reach out to Del Dog, rest in peace. I got the whole transcripts of the whole wiretap. Lawyers that was involved, they was able to get the discovery.
But when you get the discovery, was part of that the actual wiretap? Do you see your conversation with Cash Jones in them transcripts?
Paperwork, they put him as back. B-A-C-K. I kept asking the lawyer, like, who the fuck is, I ain't talked to no back. And they said, nah, that's Wack. But they put him as back because he a blood.
Was this back also referred as confidential source number 2?
Yes, sir.
Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications.
And investigative officers can be summoned.
Well, first of all, there were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
To say, was this man a motherfucking federal informant?
Cash Jones was never arrested. We'd never arrested Cash Jones.
The average human.
So you got Greg K line for you know a nigga compromise when you got a deputized federal agent
I do it every day.
lying for you that
me.
you're
My
not
liver is one of the most
a federal agent or weren't a federal agent for him. You know,
when we hit that first 1 million in sales in our first year of business, it was surreal. This is definitely going to be a thing.
Federal agent.
But in case that wasn't enough for you, here's another interesting fact. Remember when WACK100 brought 2 police officers, Greg Kading and Reggie Wright, on Clubhouse to convince us that he wasn't a snitch and was not involved in this case that we're talking about?
So we got Reggie Wright up top right.
And here you are, publicly an ex-cop.
Yeah.
Greg Kading was the lead.
Now, for those who wasn't on Clubhouse, when I first exposed the CS2 back paperwork, 3 pages, it was on a Clubhouse room on Clubhouse. I hadn't even started doing podcasts on YouTube yet. It was Clubhouse, and then I think we were doing the UOD on Spotify for podcasts and that type of shit. But I didn't know how to work. I still really don't know how to work this YouTube shit like that. But I make it work, right? After I brought the paperwork, within 10 minutes, WACK100 brought Reggie Wright Jr. and Detective Greg Kading to the 100 side to prove that he wasn't working for Greg Kading. Let's go.
Investigator, I'm probably saying this shit wrong. He'll tell you more. On that case, to where, well, fuck it, Greg, tell him who you are.
That's funny.
In reality, this is a task force with a lot of different agencies that all work together to get this done. Can you speak a little bit about that, on if Greg's credibility hurts the findings of the entire task force or not?
Well, first of all, there were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
But a letter from the LA County Sheriff's Department to a judge indicates more charges could come. A homicide captain writes a, quote, celebrity who believed Ross was having an affair with his wife enlisted the help of 7 gang members to kidnap, rob, and assault Ross. The letter says the celebrity and his manager are being investigated and more charges may be filed.
Even though this case was handled by the LA Sheriff, here is Greg Kading telling us half truth about how the case played out.
And you tell the people what my position in this case. How did Cash Jones, WACK100, how did I get involved or implemented in this case?
So, I don't know what Box had going on.
I don't know
the whole
what
Main
Box
Street
had
thing
going
and all his drama and background going on with that.
Why would Wack lie and say that was the leading investigator of the Main Street Mafia and DeJa34 Record investigation, and he not know what's going on with Stutterbox and the whole Main Street thing? Listen to what Greg Kading said. But them dick suckers, T-Money, T100, you was over there sucking cock back then too, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, all you niggas was so slow. You niggas so gang goofy. Got this nigga slung so far down your esophagus, nigga. You niggas didn't even catch that, nigga. Nigga said that this was the lead investigator. We just seen the work, the lead investigators on the Main Street Mafia Crip and DeJa34 investigation were sheriffs. They were also part of the joint task force, which Greg Caden headed, but they were primarily the boots on the ground. Let's go. We're going to back it up. Make sure y'all hear that
going on with
again.
that case. We looked into you. We wiretapped you, and we did a search warrant at your house and came up pretty much empty-handed. Cash Jones was never arrested. We'd never arrested Cash Jones.
Oh, the police officer, the same one WACK100 was able to get to come defend him on Clubhouse, who is obviously running the same playbook as WACK100 when it comes to this specific case. He's telling us that, yes, WACK100 got raided, got caught on a wiretap, but was never arrested. And in fact, Wack is innocent in that Stutterbox was just feeding them quote-unquote bullshit. But here is one problem with Wack and his cop buddies' narrative about WACK100 never being arrested in this case.
Well, first of all, there were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
So according to the sheriff from the sheriff's office that handled the Main Street Mafia Crip case, from which the CS2 bag paperwork stems from, he claims WACK100 was actually arrested.
There were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
Don't let an appliance breakdown break you down.
Right.
Shop Brothers Main's super in-stock selection from brands like GE.
So if he got arrested on a conspiracy to commit murder,
it's in the paperwork, all on wiretap. That's why your house got raided, you bitch ass nigga. You conspiracy to commit murder, nigga.
And potentially guns, how did he go free? Y'all let me know in the comments. Hit subscribe.
Greg, Reggie sent you a document. And I'm looking at that and looking at the names, MS, I'm identifying that as Mark Stevens, DD, I know it's Dale Dog. And they got a name on there called Back, B-A-C-K. And it has some shit. Let me pull this shit up so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Back, and it has some shit says CS2.
Fifth, what up? Salute, bro.
Can you tell the people what my position of in this case? How did Cash Jones, WACK100, how did I get involved or implemented?
Investigators formulated a plan to speak with suspects involved with the kidnapping, robbery, and assault of victim Ross. The purpose of this plan was to stimulate conversation on the wiretap.
How did I get involved or implemented in this case?
With that light,
we looked into you. We wiretapped you, and we did a search warrant at your house and came up pretty much empty-handed, with the exception of some worn-out old gun, and that was it.
All right, so then I then came down to, I believe that's the federal headquarters on fucking Wilshire. I think. So I guess the story is when I came down to Wilshire,
So he meets Greg Caden at the Wilshire Federal Building, Sepulveda and Wilshire. So just so you guys know, that's one meeting that he admits to having with the FBI at FBI headquarters on a Sunday when FBI buildings are closed. He was there. He admits he was there. Crazy. Let's go.
Down there to inform and not pick up whatever little items I had, or I don't know what the fuck that was, but I know I had to come down to that Wilshire building, and I came down with my legal, which I don't know why I would have to inform, because I was never subject to any arrests or anything like that.
Well, first of all, there were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
He went to his lawyer's office another meeting.
So you let them know what my trip down to the Wilshire building entailed.
Yeah, so I remember that day, and you came down there, and Cash Jones was never arrested. We'd never arrested Cash Jones.
Nigga, I was a target.
My house got raided. Nigga, I was a victim. Nigga, I was a target. Nigga, I was a victim.
How, Sway?
The subscribe button. When I beat you on Power Room, you going to bed.
Let's play Stutterbox talking to Wack.
This is what I'm trying to figure out, though, Box. Help me understand this, because me and you both know that whole case was your thing. What is Mark saying I had to do with the case, bro?
Wack, listen, in the paperwork, it said you tried to call dog, remember?
That was your play. I had nothing to do with it. Nigga, I was a victim.
WACK100 was a target.
I had nothing to do with it. Nigga, I was a victim.
They said when dog called you, his phone was hit. That's how they got on your line.
No.
That's what they say, Wack.
Back is calling on another line.
I talked to dog, and I think Mark tried to set the three-way up.
Back is calling on another line to Mark.
I talked to dog. Mark tried to set the three-way up.
Let me tell you what I had to do with the case. Shaquille O'Neal was definitely my friend. And Wack, when he did what he did, y'all would not be seeing Shaq as y'all see him today. Facts. Oh, no, I definitely know why I was doing what I was doing. I'm going to be real. The Crips just reaped the benefits of me looking out for Shaq. I'm going to keep real with you. So, again, I want you to tell me what I snitched on, though. What I did was manipulate an individual to lie under oath.
Shaquille O'Neal is not charged in this case, but a letter from the LA County Sheriff's Department to a judge indicates more charges could come against the former basketball star. A homicide captain writes a, quote, celebrity who believed Ross was having an affair with his wife enlisted the help of 7 gang members to kidnap, rob, and assault Ross. The letter says the celebrity and his manager are being investigated and more charges may be filed.
You get a phone call from WACK100, Cash Jones. What did he contact you?
He wanted to reach out to Del Dog, rest in peace. I got the whole transcript of the whole wiretap. Lawyers that was involved, they was able to get the discovery.
But when you get the discovery, was part of that the actual wiretap? Do you see your conversation with Cash Jones in them transcripts?
Paperwork, they put him as back. B-A-C-K. I kept asking the lawyer, like, who the fuck is, I ain't talked to no back. And they said, nah, that's Wack. But they put him as back because he a blood.
Was this back also referred as confidential source number 2?
Yes, sir. That was the initiating. When they started recording.
Travel can be a nightmare. Luckily,
the kidnapping and robbery took place approximately 2 weeks after Jones delivered the message to Steven. The investigation was delayed due to the ongoing federal investigation and wiretap case involving several of the suspects involved in the kidnap robbery. After reviewing the case, investigators formulated a plan to speak with suspects involved with the kidnapping, robbery, and assault of victim Ross. The purpose of this plan was to stimulate conversation on the wiretap.
You know, I ain't been helping the Wack boy in a minute. You know what I'm saying. He called me out of the blue yesterday.
That was the initiating. When they started recording.
Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications.
So, shout out to Reggie Wright.
When you were on the task force, were you one of the people that surveyed Reggie Wright Jr.?
Yes, I was.
This is my secret weapon. Everybody, all law enforcement that was on that case are Reggie's friends. So I called Reggie.
And here you are, publicly an ex-cop.
Yeah. I said, yo, Greg, brother's a dude.
Cash Jones was never arrested.
Hit that like button.
Never arrested Cash Jones.
Let's get these likes up.
They said, listen, tell us about this. He said it's absolutely false. WACK100 was a target, not informant. He said, furthermore, right, if he would have been caught on wiretap plotting or conspiring to kill somebody, we would have booked his ass.
Well, first of all, there were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
But we have all the wiretaps, right, that we was listening to.
Attached is a copy of the transcribed call between Rolls and Stevens, which was intercepted pursuant to a federal Title III wiretap case. CS2 Back wants Dell's phone number. Back needs to talk to Dell. It's important. Back is calling on another line to Mark.
I talked to dog, and I think Mark tried to set the three-way up.
Back is calling on another line to Mark.
Lawyers that was in.
Back is calling on another line because Mark is talking to Del Dog. Back is calling on another line to Mark Stevens. I talked to Dog. In fact, Wait a minute. Ask Mark. Mark, no. He's the one that tried to set up the three-way. Three-way, Back is calling on another line. That means he was trying to get him to click him in on the three-way. Let's go.
Wiretaps, right, that we was listening to.
Attached is a copy of the transcribed call between Rolls and Stevens, which was intercepted pursuant to a federal Title III wiretap case. CS2 Back wants Dell's phone number. Back needs to talk to Dell. It's important. Back is calling on another line to Mark.
I talked to Dog, and I think Mark tried to set the three-way up.
Back is calling on another line to Mark.
Lawyers that was involved, they was able to get the discovery.
Do you see your conversations with Cash Jones in them transcripts?
Paperwork, they put him as Back. B-A-C-K. That's Wack. But they put him as Back because he a blood.
Was this Back also referred as confidential source number 2?
Yes, sir.
So, I don't get what the streets is today. There's no I only told because of this. You told because you told.
So that was Channel Black with his version of my documentary. That's the one that I paid to do my documentary that went viral, over 3 million views on World Star Hip Hop. You know what I'm saying? So salute, man. We got to go ahead and give him his salutes on that one. Pretty good because it was hilarious, but it was also just his words being used against him. The inconsistencies of the different stories he told. I was the victim. I was the target. I was the victim. I was the target, right? And then I talked to Dog. Then, oh no, I didn't talk to Dog. As Mark, he tried to get me on with Dog, but Dog wouldn't talk to me. So how did you talk to Dog? Why are you lying about this? So if y'all see the poll I put up was asking, why do people lie about they cases, right? And we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that because 65% said they lie about cases because they hiding shit. 27% said because they rats. 8% said they covering for rats. Yeah, man, I should have put all the above on that mug because that would have been dope, right? So I don't know what that is right there. Oh, the stuff that's probably behind the thing. Well, that's cool. Let's get to this real quick. What my people's up in here on? Let's see what the chat talk about. His studio got a panic button in the panic room. He don't have the studio no more, bro. Binky Mac, hashtag ETE, CS2 badges, hashtag ETD. You already know you a fatty motherfucker. Mo Hill, Keith McCauley, 5 dudes, Damu Kiwe, conversations. Keith, Sepulveda the Prince. I talk to Dog. Keith McCauley, yay, area Detroiter, listening while watching the fights. Oh yeah, them fights supposed to be good today. Wack's a triple threat, rapper, snitch, and booking agent. Yeah, he gonna get your ass booked. His driver license says trusted informant. Minister Supreme L. Bay, Duse M. Salute my G, King 100. Salute to you too, Minister L. Bay. Shout out to the Shy, man. The Shy is in the building. Illinois. He said, I'm about 5 minutes from Illinois right now. He said, I'm real. And the fans said he is verified. His OnlyFans is just transcripts and timestamps. You know what I'm saying? CS2, a historical informant. Yeah, he gave it reliable historical information. Paris, Ty, where you been, King? Salute, Mr. Sims, forever solid, peace almighty. Keep doing the good work, man. I ain't got a choice, man. We own it. Peace, y'all. Salute to Deuce, yo, Ed Smart. What's up with you, bro? Salute to the whole chat from my boy Paris Ty. 600 a real busted. He don't want that fade with you. He don't want that fade with nobody. That nigga, we need a poo. We need a poo. All the above definitely should have been an option, champ. You right, J.A. Man, I was in a hurry, man. We was coming to the in-laws house, and I had to bring and set up the whole thing. We're setting it up outside, but outside, for some reason, you couldn't see the logo. We have to brand that red chuck. Let me turn this off real quick. That red chuck, let's go this way. Boom. And then the blue chuck. Boom. Every time you see that, you know it's active chuck. And the Damu Keyway conversation. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to this article real quick. Because the article, they talk about this paperwork, but there's so many articles and shit. All you gotta do is look up Robert Ross, Shaquille O'Neal. You know? And so, oh, wow. Let me see which one we got. Let's go to LA Times. Let me make sure y'all can see this. Yeah, y'all can't see it. I add it now. Boom. Oh, it's still not showing, huh? Damn. All right. We go to LA Times, man. Hopefully this is working, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not going to do it, so I need to close it and then go over there to it. Boom. All right, so now we started back over. We can get to that. Hit that like button, man. Let's get us in the algorithm. I'm cooking for y'all, man. I could just be eating some of these good tamales Maria Mama made with some mole, you know what I'm saying, and chicken. But I'm over here cooking for y'all with the content. He don't want a Grammy. He wants the Medal of Honor and testifying. Hocus in the chat. Yeah, Hocus in the chat. Hocus could come up here because I really want to see, you know, anybody hanging with Rat 100 is suspect of ratting facts. Wack wears a hoodie that says I'm mic'd up legally. His rap group name, the 48 Laws of Cooperation. I'm going to start posting content. I'm going to need y'all support so we can get this money together. Man, all you got to do is let us know. Wack don't need backup. He is backup. Definitely cooking. Oh, damn, I made some too. Yeah, we're supposed to picture, Selena. We don't believe you. You need more people. Man sued Shaquille O'Neal over the kidnapping. So, the record producer and former gang member who testified in criminal court that he was kidnapped by gang members looking for a sex tape of Shaquille O'Neal took his claims to civil court Friday, accusing the basketball star of ordering the attack on him. The former NBA star attorney immediately rejected the accusations, calling them outlandish and pure fiction in a statement. The civil suit is the latest twist in the case involving O'Neal, the record producer and a street gang that is working its way through the LA County criminal court system. The civil suit seeks unspecified monetary damages. Robert Ross, the alleged victim, sued O'Neal and his business partner Mark Stevens in Los Angeles County Superior Court, contending that his February 11, 2008 kidnapping occurred with the full knowledge, consent, and approval of O'Neal's and Stevens. 7 Main Street Crip gang members are facing criminal charges of the kidnapping, assault, and criminal conspiracy in connection with the incident. The abductors were acting on behalf of and were carrying out the orders of O'Neal and Stevens, Ross's attorney alleged in his lawsuit. Neither O'Neal nor Stevens has been charged, and they have denied any wrongdoings in the investigation. Defense attorneys in the criminal case have aggressively questioned the credibility of Ross, a felon with a lengthy criminal record who was eventually labeled an undesirable informant by the LAPD. So that was Greg Caden's work, making sure that nobody gave him any credibility to nothing he said. But him being the victim in this alleged, you got to afford him some kind of credibility about what's going on. He was the victim, bro. So an LAPD memo suggested that Ross was trying to extort money from O'Neal. So now the LAPD memo, meaning that the LAPD, not the sheriffs, meaning Greg Caden and them knew that this nigga was trying to extort money from Shaquille O'Neal, and he knew that was sent through Cash Jones. He sent Cash Jones to talk to Money Mark and Shaquille O'Neal. In a statement released after the civil suit was filed, O'Neal's attorney, Michael J. Kump, said Shaquille O'Neal befriended Mr. Ross in an attempt to help turn his life around. Sadly, Mr. Ross abused that friendship again and again. Shaquille's commitment to law enforcement is well known and documented. He will not dignify these defamatory allegations with a response. Aaron Dyer, an attorney for Stevens, said Ross has always been in this for the money. It's no surprise he filed a lawsuit seeking just that. Ross said in the lawsuit that he had been a close personal friend and confidant of O'Neal, and that former Lakers center befriended him knowing of his criminal record and his past association with the Main Street Crips. Their relationship soured over a dispute involving a record deal. Ross has claimed that he had a sex tape of O'Neal and the basketball star's jealousy over Ross's affair with O'Neal's wife, Shani, according to the lawsuit. Ross alleged that O'Neal and Stevens directed gang members to kidnap, attack, rob, and threaten them because of the fear that the sex video might become public and because of defendant O'Neal's raging jealousy. Ross said in court testimony and in statements to law enforcement that he never had a sex tape of O'Neal and that he lied about the tape in an attempt to get the money he thought he was owed from the record deal. Excuse me. So all of this stems from the Ray J record deal, which included CS2 back. And we're going to get to Mark Stevens' statement next. And then we'll get into some more, The lawsuit also contains wild allegations that over the course of their friendship, the basketball star asked Ross to kill a woman he had impregnated, kill a record producer, kill a gang member who had disrespected him, and to break an NBA player's shooting arm. So here you got, and that's an article from Victoria Kim, right? Victoria Kim, LA Times. And it's saying the same names involved. So when you get people like Young Ann Hefe, who is saying, oh, no, I was in jail with all the niggas on the case. No, you wasn't. Mark Stevens, Shaquille O'Neal, WACK100, Ray J, and DJ K-Slay, none of them were arrested. They were all employees of DeJa34 Records. Yet they were investigated but weren't arrested. So you don't know everything, and then you would be getting it secondhand from somebody you was in jail with who might not even know all of the details pertaining to the higher ups, where the call came from, what was it all about. Nigga, gang members, thugs get told orders and they operate and take orders without asking questions, nigga. That's above your pay grade. Facts, nigga. Now, out of respect, depending on how he felt about him, Dog at some point might have told him a little bit of something about something. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to this one. This is another article. ABC News. You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to get into this video. So, June 15, 2011, a music promoter claims he was kidnapped and robbed by 7 gang members who were allegedly on a mission to retrieve a sex tape involving former NBA player Shaquille O'Neal. You know what I'm saying? It was a bluff. Spokeswoman Jane Robinson told ABC News it was part of a financial dispute between Robert Ross, Stutterbox, and Shaquille O'Neal. Attorney Vincent Oliver represents Eddie Little West Hill, one of the gang members accused in the attack. Oliver said that the financial dispute was over artist Ray J, a singer and rap star who is the brother and singer of Brandy. Who is Ray J's manager? Oh, okay. I ain't have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So Mr. Ross, who is the so-called victim in this case, claims he introduced Ray J to Mr. O'Neal's record label and was to receive 50%. Oh, shit. Let me take this off. And was to receive 50% of the proceeds, Oliver said. When Ross didn't get the money he believed he was owed, he told O'Neal through a third party. Listen, when Stutterbox didn't get the money he believed he was owed for the Ray J deal, he told Shaquille O'Neal through a third party that he had a sex tape of the basketball player. Robinson said 2 weeks later, Ross was allegedly robbed and kidnapped by members of the Main Street Mafia Crips. So, who was that? Let's see what y'all on right there, because I don't know if y'all all caught that. So who is this third party friend that told them about the sex tape? And then 2 weeks later, Stutterbox was kidnapped. He don't throw shade, he throw affidavits. Kate and Ben had CS2 badges playing ball. Yeah, that's a fact. Shaq just wanted to rap and sell shoes for $20.99. And here comes Wack. I did Sepulveda, meat and cheese and chili. Mike Brown, that was my stepson name. I am near. Let me see. How Hefe believed Cash. He obviously didn't read the documents. I talked to dogs. That's the craziest part. He said, admit he didn't read the documents, or he only read some of the documents. If Dale would have talked to Wack, what would have been the scenario then? Sounds good. Hefe is obviously a real one, but for some reason, he don't see what is obvious to everybody else. It's kind of like Charles Pitts, respect my brother in the chat. It's kind of like people will believe a lie. Hold on, y'all can't even see me, huh? Let me see if I can turn this off. Damn, y'all can't see me? I wonder why y'all can't see me. Let me see what's going on. Let me see if y'all can see me. Can y'all hear me? Give me ones in the chat if y'all can still hear me. That shit gonna piss me off. Ones in the chat if y'all can hear me. Okay, so y'all can hear me, but y'all just can't see me. That's crazy. All right, well, y'all don't need to see me. Y'all know I'm here. You know what I'm saying? 420 Palms. So, yeah, they said I'm a ghost. I don't know what's going on. But I can tell you this much. That person that they talking about was the third party through a third party told O'Neal about the sex tape was WACK100. This is an ABC News article, nigga. An ABC News article. And it says exactly what the paperwork says, but this nigga came and insulted niggas' intelligence and said that the paperwork was fake. They don't CS2 to turn their water off like loose lips. That's why they deny it. They need Adam, Vlad, and that. That's the crazy part. I don't think Hefe need them. It's a slow grind, nigga, rock for rock. But he got something that they can have, and that's credibility. You know what I'm saying? Authenticity. You know what I'm saying? WACK100, he might not understand his value, you know? So, anyway, if you don't believe me, all you got to do is look right here where it says through a third party that he had a sex tape of the basketball player. 2 weeks later, Ross was allegedly robbed. We know who that was. You know what I'm saying? That's CS2 Blackmail, nigga. CS2 badges, nigga. He tried to extort Shaq, De La Hoya, Kim, Nipsey. Who am I missing? Shaq, De La Hoya, Kim, Nipsey. Who am I missing? Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. I'm quite sure it's the other one's Future. He said, free the guys. He then submitted Wack Don't Shoot. He screenshots everything. You know the BB gun bully, porch poodle can't shut his trap. Man, that's a fact. So there goes that article. We're going to close that one and that one and that one and get into this content. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and go to this. Damn, that's crazy that y'all ain't going to be able to see me. But I know a lot of y'all probably don't want to see a nigga like me anyway. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see. Let's go here. Boom. Boom, my boy. Shout out my boy Kip Kamey. We gonna get into it. Oh yeah, let's go.
Ross went into a convenience store in West Hollywood. He was then kidnapped at gunpoint and was forced to drive to a home in South Central Los Angeles, in the territory of the Main Street Mafia Crips. There, he was beaten, robbed, and demanded to return Shaquille O'Neal's sex tape. Stay tuned. Let's turn back the clock. The year is 1992, and Shaquille O'Neal roared his way from LSU all the way to the NBA, where he became synonymous with both power and finesse. Quickly, he became one of the league's most dominant players, and one of the US's most popular celebrities. As a literal larger-than-life figure, Shaq also dominated off the court, starring in movies, Pepsi commercials, gracing video game and magazine covers, making wrestling appearances, and topping the charts with one of his most dear passions, rapping, spitting on the mic. Along names such as the Notorious B.I.G., Nas, and Jay-Z, the big Aristotle showed us chops on the mic, even featuring on a Michael Jackson single. Yeah, seriously. Of course, Shaq doesn't get a King of Pop or Jay-Z feature by just dunking a basketball. He was actually an adept rapper for his time period. And although he already had millions of dollars, worldwide fame, and basically anything that he wanted more. He called himself a Renaissance man. And hey, he was Shaquille O'Neal, man. Whatever he wanted, he got. No diddy. So it's a year later now. Fresh off a Rookie of the Year campaign, Shaq founded his own record label called Duse Records, with Duse standing for The World Is Mine. Fitting. While being one of the league's best players from out the gate.
Is it true that you're the only rookie that was ever named Player of the Week in the first week?
Yes, it is. I had a pretty good week.
He was also recording with some of the hottest artists in the 90s, the first of which being a rap group called Fushnikins, one of Shaq's childhood idols. The record was a song they'd already recorded, called What's Up Doc, Can We Rock? They added Shaq last minute as a feature, and the song blew up. Coming out in the summer of 1993, it was a top 40 Billboard hit. To compare, Tweaker by Jello Ball is a top 30 Billboard hit, and look where it got him. So yeah, Shaq was hot stuff. It was actually fire, for the time at least.
What's up, Doc? I'm the Hooper, Viper, protected by Viper. When I'm out the hooping, yo, you better decipher.
That single showed that Shaq could hold his own in the booth, and many more records followed. What's Up Doc became the lead single of Shaq's first project, called Shaq Diesel, which went platinum, selling over 1 million copies. Buoyed by this massive success, Jive Records, the label that put Fushnikins and Shaq together in the first place, offered him a 3-album, $10 million deal.
Agent called and he said, bro, you're not going to believe this. And I said, what? He said, they offer you a $10 million 3-album deal. And I was like, I got to take it.
The next album he dropped was called Shaq Food, The Return, where the first song was No Hook, featuring RZA and Method Man.
The Shaq attack has risen. Roll call 3 p.m. This is Twism. Always and forever.
The album went gold, selling about 500,000 copies. After this, Shaq left Jive Records and partnered with Interscope, where in 1996 he dropped the best album from any athlete ever, You Can't Stop the Rain, featuring the Notorious B.I.G., Jay-Z, Nas, and Rakim. For my younger audience, that's like Jello dropping a project with Drake, NBA Youngboy, Lil Uzi, and damn, Cardi. Shaq was stamped in the music game. Just a few months prior, Shaq made the bombshell announcement that he'd be signing a 7-year, $121 million deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. From there, he became the legend that we all know. On the music side, he commemorated his move with the track Straight playing.
Let's go. Thanks.
Dear Dr. K, I used to think I was never meant to be beautiful.
symbolizing the arrival of Shaq Diesel on the West Coast. Now, comparatively speaking, You Can't Stop the Rain didn't do that well, selling 200,000 copies. Shaq did one more album partnering with A&M Records in 1998, which featured Kobe Bryant in a song called 3 Times Dope. However, Kobe wasn't credited because of label issues or something like that. But it's out there. I'll play a snippet right now.
I reach destinations with split-second acceleration in a capsule of time to witness your bone evaporation.
When Phil Jackson came into the picture, Shaq let rapping take a back seat. And during the three-peat run in LA, he didn't release anything, recording one album called Shaquille O'Neal Presents the Super Friends Volume 1, which never released. He dropped one last track called Drop Another Day No. 34, which started a beef with a rapper called Mad Skills. And after that, he never dropped a full rap project again. The year is now 2004, and the Los Angeles Lakers are losing their groove. They lost their first NBA Finals in the Kobe and Shaq era, and while their status was nothing but solidified, Shaq's time in LA was almost up. Around this time, Shaq created a new label with his cousin Money Mark Stevens, a shrewd businessman who he regularly consulted with while he had Twism Records, which went under in 2001. This time, Shaq was looking to be the executive rather than the talent, and was looking for artists to partner with for his label. Now, enter Robert Ross, aka Stutterbox, due to his penchant for stuttering when he gets nervous or excited. He met Shaquille O'Neal at a party in LA in around 2003, and they became good friends. Stutterbox happened to know a lot of people around the music scene in LA. Shaq's new label, looking for new artists, commissioned Stutterbox to go and find new people for him, and he followed through. Plus interest, it seems. Enough to where Shaq shouted him out in a 2006 remix of his song with a Notorious B.I.G.
Stutterbox, box.
That's not all he shouted out, though. In fact, he had a lot of guys in a set to rap.
Man, Money Marcus Bullet, Cousin Kenny is my cat, man. Dog and Box got my back, man. K Slay, Corey Guns, Main Street, Lil Shaq, man.
So, who are these guys? And what's Main Street? Well, see, Robert Ross was affiliated with the Main Street Mafia Crips of South Central LA. This is where stuff gets sticky. While I've lived in South Central LA before, I have not had a singular gang interaction. Like, the closest I got, I went to a basketball court alone on the weekend, broad daylight. It's the middle of the day on a weekend, and there's no kids, no one around. I'm wondering what's going on. I see some gang tags, I put it together, and I get up out of there. I turn on the jets. I am not about that life. So I brought in someone who is. Lamonte Duse M Sims is an OG coming from the Fruittown Brims, a set of the Bloods in West South Central. He's worked with guys like YG and Ty Dolla $ign before, and featured on the viral Brim anthem, Hit Yo Brimmin'. He's also the owner of the media outlet Active Chucks, where he's interviewed major LA players like Suge Knight, as well as our main men Robert Ross and Money Mark Stevens.
Stutterbox is the nexus to this whole investigation.
In late 2007, Ross formed a relationship with his neighbor Ray J, and was able to bring him onto Shaq and Mark Stevens' label, with the help of Death Row affiliate Cash Jones, aka WACK100. That'll be important later. During the initial negotiations, Robert Ross and Mark Stevens agreed that Ross would make a percentage of royalties based off of whatever music that Ray J and the label put out together. But when they met in New York a few weeks later to finalize the deal, Mark Stevens balked. He gave Ross a $20,000 finder's fee and refused to pay him any royalties.
Now, mind you, Robert Ross is a real fancy, flashy dude. He's driving around Los Angeles at this point in Rolls Royces and Phantoms. He's really heavily and wealthy man. I think he had did a fraud, allegedly, and acquired about $7-8 million in a fraud scam that he had going on. So he's a street millionaire.
So naturally, Stutterbox wasn't going for it. And neither was Ray J, actually. He refused to sign the deal until Stutterbox got his pay. But the facilitator in New York, Kosh Records, were going to nix the deal if he didn't sign soon. So Stutterbox tells Ray J sign the deal, and
if I get my money out of these guys, how I get my money out of them.
The project ended up being a commercial success, topping the charts of Billboard Hip-Hop and R&B. The main single was Sexy Can I, which actually had Shaq in the background of the music video.
Is it true that Shaq invested in your music career?
Yeah. He gave us, I think, $1.5 million for Sexy Can I.
Wow.
Money Mark, WACK100, we had another partner, and then Shaq. And we recouped the number back for Shaq in, I don't know, 5 months, 6 months. And everything else has been profitable since.
All the while, Stutterbox was still trying to get his money back. After weeks of constantly requesting money from Mark and Shaq, there was no budging from either guy. So
Robert Ross and Cash Jones come up with a conspiracy to blackmail and extort Shaquille O'Neal and Mark Stevens for the money that Robert Ross felt he was owed for putting together the Ray J deal.
Now hold on, I know that sounds crazy, but hear it out. So Shaq and Stutterbox are good friends at this point, right? Stutterbox even introduced him to other members of the Main Street Crips, including the leader Liddell Rawls, aka Del Dog, remember that, and Kevin Haran, who went by the name of Lil Shaq. Sound familiar?
Dog and Box got my back, man. Main Street, Lil Shaq, man.
So, not only does Shaq rep the Main Street set, but the other people that he mentioned are literally his family. Mark and Kenny,
Cousin Kenny is my cat, man.
Are his blood relatives, first cousins. And Corey Guns is his godson. But who gets the screen time? Not Kenny or Corey, but Stutterbox.
But him and Shaq was tight, and Shaquille O'Neal, prior to the deal, hung out with him, partied with him, even went to his house where Robert Ross leaves. Shaquille O'Neal had invited his female friend there, had sex with her there, and it was security cam footage when Robert Ross came home where he sees, oh man, he boom, boom, brought on my couch, you know what I'm saying? Shoved his hands all in her ass and all of this stuff.
So yeah, Stutterbox, Robert Ross, came home to his security cam footage and saw Shaq. Yeah. So anyway, that's leverage. This happened around July 2007, before Shaquille divorced his wife, Shawnee. That's infidelity from a global superstar in the 2000s. TMZ would literally be slobbering. TMZ was going to slobber all over that. So through Cash Jones, WACK100, Ross claimed to have recorded and saved the footage and insinuated that he could sell it to TMZ and make a lot of money. Additionally, get this.
Now, Robert Ross, another story plot twist, seeing that Shaquille O'Neal and Shawnee O'Neal were having a rocky relationship. As the story goes, he allegedly played in to be a counselor, and it is rumored began to have sex with Shawnee O'Neal. I don't know if that's true or not. Like I said, Robert Ross lies about a lot, but it's been consistent. Even a lot of the police officers in their reports were citing that this allegation might have possibly been true. Shaquille O'Neal hired a private investigator to follow his ex-wife. She follows his ex-wife and brings back footage of Robert Ross and Shawnee O'Neal having brunch together out in, they met halfway and met in Texas or somewhere down south back east.
During this time, apparently Robert Ross told Shawnee O'Neal about the sex tape and even offered to sell it to her. She also said she didn't believe there was a sex tape because he was a liar and he never slept with her.
This is Mia. She wanted to take her brand nationwide.
Let's hit that
and
like
with US
button,
Bank
man.
Business Essentials, a combination of...
So anyways, regardless of all of what happened previously, I think we can all agree here that Robert Ross is moving hella shiesty. I mean, he did say he was going to get it back his way. I mean, he's a street millionaire. What do you expect? But here's where he messed up. He messed with Shaq Diesel. Hey, no glaze. One thing Shaq didn't play about back then was leaks. During Kobe Bryant's deposition in his 2004 Colorado case, he name-dropped Shaq to the people who were interviewing him, claiming that Shaq would not pay his woman to say anything, and that he's already paid up to $1 million for stuff like this. Now, listen, I'm not gonna choose a side for you guys, but the alleged victim, 3 days before she charged Kobe, bragged about being with him to 5 people. She'd apparently tried to get with Eminem, and her friend described her as having a celebrity addiction. At least from Kobe's point of view, this was just infidelity. And when Shaq did it, he married Shawnee in 2002, he made sure to cover his tracks. Now here goes one of his business partners, who, by the way, had a track of criminal activity, and Shaq was claiming to want to reform him, but he'd also been dropping Shaq's name to police officers. So this is the guy who's trying to throw all of that now down the drain. Shaq wasn't going. Enter Del Dog, the leader of the Main Street Mafia Crips, and one of the most famous men of South Central LA.
You had to hear about Del Dog. He was like God.
Christened the Street Apostle, Del Dog was the founder of 4 Life Records and the 4 Life Mafia car club, the latter of which became the predecessor for an entire car subculture in Japan. He was also tight with Steve Harvey and Ice Cube, both of whom starred in a documentary funded by Shaquille O'Neal. Seen as nearly a biblical figure in his hood, he organized toy and food drives every Thanksgiving, Christmas, and summer, with Shaq even pulling up sometimes. Additionally, he was a devout follower of Christ in his later years, of which he did his best to spread the good word around his hood. Like one of his members said,
"We was crippin' for the street, now we're crippin' for Christ."
But like every person in power, there are 2 sides to the coin.
He's like a legend in Los Angeles. Some people even call him the king of Los Angeles. If you listen to most people, he was like a ghetto Robin Hood, right? Necessary evils.
Necessary evils.
Lord, I cannot kill all these niggas hating on me, man. That's what I said to God. I said, I cannot kill all these niggas that's hating, man.
2 weeks later, Robert Ross, Stutterbox, was at the Pink Dot in West Hollywood when he encountered some of his old partners from the Main Street Crips. They blocked his car from leaving, and told him that Dog wanted to see him. They forced him at gunpoint to drive his Rolls Royce back to South Central LA, where they dropped him off in front of a member's house, where Liddell Rawls, Del Dog, was waiting. Per Ross's account, Dog and some other guys started jumping him, pistol whipping and all of this stuff for about an hour. They then took him to a studio in the back of the house, where they beat him some more, took his diamond necklace, his diamond earrings, Rolex watch, and $15,000 in cash. While saying, Mark and Shaq know who the real boss is now. Del Dog then demanded the tape and $100,000, to which Stutterbox replied, his mom and sister needed to see him soon or else they would get suspicious. But he'd be able to get $60K and the tape in just a few hours. Del Dog then handed him his keys for his house and his car, and let him out. Now, this is where our story gets even juicier. Robert Ross, up to this point, had been working with the police.
He was working with Detective Darren Dupree and Greg Caden, which was a joint task force. They were both LAPD officers, primarily focused on the Tupac and Biggie murder investigation.
For 10 years, I worked at a sign shop. It was really fun creating.
Whoa, hold on, huh? Wait, why? Why? Well,
Robert Ross Stutterbox was also a suspect in the unaliving of Biggie Smalls, the notorious B.I.G., Christopher Wallace. Well, they had informants saying that the police did it, and the hitman name was Amir Muhammad. Well, Stutterbox went by the alias. Robert Ross went by the alias.
And to top it all off,
the Main Street Crips are already under federal investigation. I'm talking about home invasions, drug dealings. The FBI, ATF, DEA already has federal wiretaps going on.
Which is why this crime was able to be so fleshed out in the first place. They'd already had wiretaps placed on the Main Street Crips. Man. Listen, we talking about Biggie and Tupac on an NBA channel. Bro, like and subscribe, man. Who's really doing this? Back to box.
He leaves, jumps in his Rolls Royce. He calls his handler, Darren Dupree, and Darren Dupree tells him to walk and report the kidnapping and robbery at the local police station, which he did.
Now, Robert Ross's informant situation and motives are still murky, but what is known is that instead of going home and receiving the tape and the $60,000, he went to the LAPD 77th Division station, beaten and bloodied, and told the officers about what had just happened, and implicated Liddell Rawls, Shaquille O'Neal, and Mark Stevens. Now, was there any evidence other than hearsay to prove that Shaq and Mark Stevens put a hit out on Robert Ross? No, not really. But remember the wiretaps. The LAPD found that around the time that Robert Ross was kidnapped, a flurry of calls was exchanged between Mark Stevens and Liddell Rawls. Now, I just finished up The Wire Season 1, and bro, when I read that, I said, bro, literally bar for bar, man, I was shocked. So, there's strong evidence that Money Mark called Del Dog to handle Stutterbox, something Greg Kading, the officer that worked with Stutterbox and the handler of the Tupac and Biggie cases, also corroborated.
Shaq's like, man, this clown's trying to extort money from me, blah, blah, blah. He tells Mark. Well, Mark reaches out to Del Dog and says, man, you gotta swear your guy away.
You know what's crazy? Greg Kading, and you can't find this clip on AGTV. It's AGTV no more. You see all of Greg Kading's other interviews, but because we exposed this part, that Greg Kading is even admitted. He say he don't believe nothing Stutterbox said, but he admits that there was an extortion. Listen, and blackmail attempt. Listen.
Between Mark Stevens and Liddell Rawls. Now, I just finished up The Wire Season 1, and bro, when I read that, I said, bro, literally bar for bar, man, I was shocked. So, there's strong evidence that Money Mark called Del Dog to handle Stutterbox, something Greg Kading, the officer that worked with Stutterbox and the handler of the Tupac and Biggie cases, also corroborated.
Shaq's like, man, this clown's trying to extort money from me, blah, blah, blah. He tells Mark. Well, Mark reaches out to Del Dog and says, man, you gotta swear your guy away. Can you deal with Stutterbox? Tell him to knock this shit off. So Del Dog and the Main Street Crips go and they discipline and threaten Stutterbox.
But Ross didn't press charges right away. Sometime after the kidnapping, he was incarcerated again, which led to a delay for almost 3 years. Then, in the summer of 2011, he officially filed a civil complaint accusing Shaq, Mark Stevens, Del Dog, and 7 other Main Street Crip members of kidnapping, assault and battery, and robbery. From there, the case was picked up from all the major news outlets, with bombastic headlines like Shaq Attack and the like. But then, after the preliminary hearing, the case was inexplicably dropped. Why? Well, apparently, Robert Ross perjured himself in court. He lied on the stand. WACK100, his former partner, and in on that first Ray J deal, claims to know why.
To help a certain individual out, I called my attorney, had the attorney put Greg Kane and Mark Stevens together. They put that together to ask Box on stand if you go pull the paperwork. Have you ever been a confidential informant to work for the LAPD, the FBI as a known snitch? He lied on the oath and said no. Greg Kane takes a stance, provides a document that this dude is in fact one of our informants, this, that. At that point, the judge looks at it. He perjured himself. Therefore, any allegations or any claims he's bringing on anybody is non and void. They dropped the charges on these 7 Crips and let them go. So in a sense, this power roof freed the Crips.
Now, time for another plot twist.
believe that.
WACK100 was also allegedly an FBI informant at the time, but this time for Death Row Records in regarding the Biggie Smalls case.
Whoa.
How long will this take? I'm kind of in a rush.
Conversations.
Beef right now with WACK100 broke it down for me. Buckle up. So, for context, after the death of Biggie Smalls, there were allegations that the LAPD was involved in the murder. And not only that, but they hid their involvement in the preceding trials. Biggie's family then filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the LAPD in the city of LA, demanding over $400 million.
Detective Greg Kane, he helped federalize that Main Street case, but that wasn't his case. He's running the Biggie murder investigation and the Tupac Death Row Suge stuff. So that's his priority. There's a $400 million lawsuit against the LAPD and the city of Los Angeles, which would have bankrupt Greg Kane and Darren Dupree. The task force was created to bring up a different theory that didn't implicate any police officers in participating or assisting in the unaliving of Biggie Smalls, the notorious Big. That's his only focus, to bring up a theory so that they could get off this $400 million lawsuit. If Detective Coet would have spoke up on the stand, or Detective Fournier, they could have asked them about everybody who was on this investigation, including the informant. Informants being confidential source 2 back.
Now, who is CS2 back? Well, according to Lamonte's findings, that is WACK100 Cash Jones, who's listed in the investigations while Del Dog was speaking with Mark Stevens. Through Mark Stevens, who is now Cash Jones's employer at DeJa34 Records thanks to the Ray J deal, he wanted to convey the information that Stutterbox had gone sour. Del Dog declines. The police investigation referred to him as CS2, confidential source 2, and Mark Stevens confirmed his identity later on. The priority being the case of the notorious B.I.G. and Jones's ability to be able to point out the culprit as being Wardell Fouts, aka Poochie, as a plausible story. If the police officers working on the Stutterbox case were to testify, they were liable to exposing Cash Jones's relationship with the police due to him being involved tangentially, and thus rupturing the relationship needed to have a working theory to save the city of LA and the LAPD $400 million.
Right.
So they left their lower-ranking informant out to dry, and the case was dropped. But hey, that's just a theory. A gang theory. That was poor. That was poor. Thanks for watching. My bad. The LAPD, by the way, had already designated Ross as an undesirable informant due to having a personal vendetta against other gang members and allegedly bragging about paying cops.
Stutterbox is a really interesting character. He may be one of the worst people that I've ever come across so far as how devious he is.
So maybe that was the reason. Whatever the explanation was, the case was dismissed, the members were set free, and Shaq didn't even see the courtroom. Robert Ross, regardless if he had later legal troubles, lives now in a nice house and what seems to be a peaceful life from what I can make out. Liddell Rawls, aka Del Dog, was shot in 2015 after allegedly attempting to mediate a gang dispute. Mark Stevens, I think, is still living in Atlanta, still working with Shaq, not on music anymore. That kind of died out in 2013. And as it turned out, he actually became Stephen A's agent. And Shaq is now an overpaid hater on national television, far from the gangster life that he may have once dabbled in. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't.
I don't know that Shaquille O'Neal was even aware that a kidnapping robbery was going down. I don't know that. You know what I'm saying?
We'll probably never know. But damn. And if you see any other stories like this, hit me up on Twitter, man. I want to see some more. I want to cover some more. Like and subscribe if you haven't, because more heat is on the way. Thanks for watching. You can't stop the rain.
Hey, man, salute my boy Kip Kane 11, man. A sports YouTuber links up with Duse M and gets one of the stories of his life. You know what I'm saying? We got the content. But we gonna go ahead and no, we ain't doing that. Bam, we gonna go ahead and get y'all this other content since y'all can't see me. That shit is crazy. Y'all can't see me, but it's all right. We ain't gonna stop it. We gonna get into this Money Mark Stevens interview and let that talk for it. You know what I'm saying?
So at some point, you get a phone call from WACK100, Cash Jones, and when he contact you, what did he contact you concerning?
He wanted to reach out to Del Dog, rest in peace. And he wanted to give Del Dog some information that he had gotten from Stutterbox, right? It's like he was getting information from Stutterbox on what his plan was and what the get down was gonna be. And he wanted to talk to the homie and talk to him. And Dog wasn't getting on the line with him. And he kept blowing me up because he wanted me to get him on the line.
Smart man. Rest in peace to Del Dog, man. So he's talking about the phones is being compromised. Is that one of the things that he told you?
Well, the homie Del Dog never trusted dude. You follow me?
Right.
So Dog didn't know was the lines compromised or was they wired up for sound or not. He just wasn't gonna chance it. You follow me?
Right.
But it was later on. It was later on after they took the case to they was taking it all away because the homie ain't had no choice.
No.
You know, he was facing a life sentence, so he had to take it all away. And with all the lawyers that was involved, they was able to get the discovery, and that's when we found out that the lines was compromised.
Skip the rental counter with Turo. Rent just about any car, just about anywhere.
Let's go. Told y'all we got
this is a thing.
You know what I'm saying? Niggas broke this story. Niggas
of interest, and they
a long time ago.
And as soon when you get the discovery, was part of that the actual wiretaps?
The whole transcript. I got the whole transcripts. The whole transcripts of the whole wiretaps.
And do you, in that paperwork, do you see your conversation with Cash Jones in them transcripts?
That was the initiating. That was the initiating when they started recording.
Right. Right. And how did they refer to Cash Jones?
And the paperwork they put him as Back, BACK. And
correct.
I kept asking the lawyer, like, who the fuck is? I ain't talked to no Back. And they said, nah, that's Wack. But they put him as Back because he a blood. So it's Back. And I said, oh, okay.
And was this Back also referred as confidential source number 2?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Well, man, I'm glad that the truth was able to come out. And it's sad.
But bigger than that, but bigger than that, homie, right? You know, I watched dude, man. He said some things about the big homie Shaq, you know, that wasn't true.
That's exactly what happened to PRB Black.
Like he been trying to destroy the big homie Big U name, and I'm seeing and watching this. And I called the big homie U. We was talking. I said, yo, when you get into Atlanta, man, come see me. Because I had what I had for years. And when I gave it to the homie, I said, man, you read it. Because it was a big-ass textbook of shit. And the homie just sided with what was right. He said, I can't fuck with dude no more. And that was the end of that.
Until Wack started attacking, and that's when Wack started attacking him with false
allegations and all of this online weird shit, right?
Correct, because because the homie Big U asked me why I didn't fuck with the nigga, and I said, when you pull up, I'm gonna show you. I want you to read it. And when he read it, he was like, oh, okay, I see why you don't fuck with the nigga. I can't fuck with the nigga. And that was it.
Wait, how long was it from when you first got it that you met you in Atlanta to show him the work?
I got the paperwork from the attorneys probably in, I want to say 12 or 13, because it was a series of, remember the incident happened in 07, 06, 07, but Box had went to prison. He called a drug case, so he went to prison, and they waited to almost the last month of the statute of limitations to go get the homies from Main Street. Right. So it had been about a 5-year period from the time that had happened to the time that they came and got the big homies. And then once how
did you feel about you waiting that long now?
Well, he chastised me, and I never, one of the things, bro, and it's like it's the slippery slope, as people say, right? Like on one end, Wack, the nigga, he wasn't doing no harm, right? He was just trying to move around and be the tough guy. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? My whole thing is, okay, that's what you want to do, cool. But then it went from that to, I heard what he was saying about the big homie Shaq, and then I heard what he said about Big U, and that's when I picked up the phone.
Hey.
I said, hey, you, man, I want you to read something, man. And then once you read it, once you know, that's Quran. That's the Holy Quran. Once you know, you're accountable for what you know. And when he read it, he said, okay, I see why you don't fuck with dude. I can't fuck with dude. And that was it. Let me tell you something, man. I probably haven't seen nor talked to Wack in years, and, I wish everybody success and happiness, but not on the basis of lies.
Right.
And
not on and it's really indicative of your character, Mark, because you have a whole campaign publicly of a brother that's heavy in our community positively, helping get these kids graduated from school and into football and all of these other positive things. And he smutting his name through the mud just because he decided not to deal with them.
And brother, well put. Look, I call the homie Big U all the time. I call him the naked truth. And he always be like, why you call me the naked truth? I said, because Wack is the well-dressed lie.
Conversation. Man, we got it. Let's hit that like button if y'all just getting in here. I see that I'm told y'all I'm in this basement. We having all kind of technical difficulties. Always coming back in now. Once the come up. Slim Reaper, salute, King. You know what I'm saying? Peace to you, peace and bless to you and your loved ones, your family, your tribe, you know what I'm saying, your village, whatever you call it, man. Let's go.
It's an old parable about truth and lie when swimming. And, lie jumped out the water and put on truth clothes. So you had a well-dressed lie, but then truth got out the water and it was naked. So you got the naked truth that's trying to run down a well-dressed lie. Feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, it is what it is with the homies.
Well, yeah, man. Well, I know you a businessman and you stay on positive shit, man. I'm sorry that we had to even delve into these negative accusations that got a lot of people, good people named caught up in it. But we needed to get the truth where truth appears, falsehood disappears, man. And I wanted to hear that for myself, man.
Man, hey man, I appreciate you, man, and God bless. But like I said, man, it's a lot of things is just a well-dressed lie. That's all I can say.
Right. And that's what Cash Jones is. He is the well-dressed lie.
Yeah, and he was that truth. It is what it is. He always stood on the side of truth. He ain't never wavered from that. From the time I gave him that paperwork, I watched him take assault after assault because he just did the right thing. He just said, I can't fuck with you.
And I'm so glad that he ain't responded publicly to these negative lies because he's above that shit. Let him stay low and you just stay high. Don't let this man trick you up off. Makes up every day.
Well, and then you got to understand too, bro, it's, like I told you about throwing a rock and hiding your hand.
Yeah.
What's the motive for throwing the rock to begin with? Like, we know the rocks is being thrown, but what's the motive? Like, only thing I saw the homie Big U do, put out a great documentary on hip hop. I see him, man, putting these kids through college and sending them like I'm trying to understand what's the motive, or it's a motive that we can't comprehend because we don't think on those levels. You feel me?
Hey, that's perfectly said. And I'm gonna tell you this: in all of my life, being from the community of South Central Los Angeles, only time I ever heard of a public artificial dissemination of disinformation was through COINTELPRO and J. Edgar Hoover, man. And I'm just gonna drop that jewel and let you go, man.
Man, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good day, man.
Likewise,
brother. All right, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. That was the interview. That was the interview with Money Mark Stevens, man. The man who actually asked Mark. Mark knows. He's the one that tried to set up the three-way. Never did set up the three-way. But I know y'all couldn't see me, and I don't know what's going on. I'm down in this basement, but we tried to get this back up. So we gonna cut this off, stop sharing that. We gonna get y'all into something real. Damn, somebody must have just came. Let's go to Street Certified TV, man. Let me bring this in. That's the damn dog. That ain't my dog. I'm the other dog. My dog's finna get started next. Shout out Street Certified TV.
What's going on? I'm Larry Hoover Jr. and I'm rocking with Street Certified News. Oh, it is your boy Kiss, man. Shout out to Street Certified News. What's cool, L? Hit him, Mr. Oh, yeah, y'all already know what it is, man. I'm rocking with Street Certified News. You got behind the scenes, man. We're gonna tie this bitch up. What up, this your boy Mom J. We rocking with Street Certified News.
Man, Street Certified News, man. Shout out Big Bo. Shout out Wack.
Yo. It's your boy Michelle Guapo, man. Street Certified News. We back with another one. Man, first off, man, if you guys could stop, man, smack that like button on this video, man. It always helps, you know what I'm saying? When you guys drop that like button, you guys always support our videos. We greatly appreciate it. This week, man, you know what I'm saying? With all this Rolling 60 stuff going on and Big U, and there's been a lot of people that have like kind of come out just more than us and have really had negative words for WACK100 regarding his information and how he shares information and how it could potentially be helping law enforcement. WACK100 continues to claim that, he's a street guy and he abides by street codes and street rules, but he always seems to find himself embroiled in situations where he's given a little
salute,
bit too
y'all hit
much
that like
information to
button,
law
y'all just
enforcement,
coming in.
or he's being treated a little bit too lenient by law enforcement. Although we're not really gonna get into the big U shit, we might get into it a little bit later. We wanted to get into a 2006 gun case where WACK100 and his brother, both convicted felons, were caught with seemingly an artillery of firearms. Shout out to Active Chuck's Duse M's. We spoke to him later in the video. And he gave us some insight. This was all information that he collected directly from the county office down there in Texas. So he'll talk to us about that later. In part 1 of the video, we spoke with gangster documentarian Al Prophet. In part 2, we're really going to break down this 2006 gun case and how it coincidentally lines up with an older story that we told you guys about WACK100 getting caught on wiretap with the Stutterbox, Liddell Rawls, Mark Stevens case in the Main Street Mafia Crips. So, hey, man, look, with no further ado, it's all going to come together, man. Trust me, it's crazy. So, hey, with no further ado, man, it's your boy Michelle Guapo, man. Street Certified News. April 16th, 2005.
Energizer's 3-in-1 Child Shield is the world's first coin lithium battery that has 3 different safety features.
Let's go.
At Olive Garden, we're all about more.
We're going to get to this, and then I'm gonna let y'all up out of here. Hit that like button if y'all in. Let's go.
Chase was on a routine patrol on Interstate 40 in Wheeler County, Texas, when he would pull over a 2005 Cadillac for driving 77 in a 70-mile-per-hour speed zone. The driver, later identified as Cash McElroy Jones, stated that he was a truck driver and always ran about 5 miles over the limit. He also stated that he was en route to Tulsa, Oklahoma for a funeral. At some point during the traffic stop, the trooper would ask Cash Jones for permission to search his vehicle. After denying the request, K9 units were called to the scene. During the search, troopers located a black rifle, black shotgun, a loaded black pistol, along with several clips and large amounts of ammunition for each gun. Following the recovery of the firearms from the vehicle, both Cash Jones and his passenger, who would later go on to be identified as his brother, would be arrested, with both men being charged with unlawful possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Soon after this arrest, he would be briefly placed on a Fed hold before posting a $10,000 bond. Once out of jail, WACK100 would travel back to Los Angeles, where he would continue working with DeJa34 Records and Suge Knight. Only 2 years later, in January 2008, police would name Knight as one of the members of the mob Pyru Street Gang in a crackdown by authorities in the city of Compton. Despite his music industry connections and now managing Ray J and rapper The Game, WACK100's name would be left out of the crackdown. In that same year, Cash Jones, aka WACK100, would be caught on wiretap, informing business partner Mark Stevens that the Main Street Mafia Crip leader Liddell Rawls was under investigation for the kidnapping and beating of Robert Ross, aka Stutterbox. Liddell Rawls, who prosecutors said was the leader of the Main Street Mafia Crips gang, would be accused in a criminal complaint filed in February 2011 of directing members to kidnap, beat, and rob the victim, Robert Ross. CS2 Back would play a pivotal role in that case, both helping authorities connect the dots to Dale Dog via the wiretap phone calls and eventually helping Main Street beat their case.
Let's play Stutterbox talking to Wack.
This is what I'm trying to figure out, though, Box. Help me understand this, because me and you both know that whole case was your thing. What is Mark saying I had to do with the case, bro?
Wack, listen, in the paperwork, it said you tried to call Dog, remember?
I tried to
and he
call
won't take your call. And I sent it to you. And he said
I talked to Dog.
But he said he didn't talk to you. He wouldn't take your call. But they said he wouldn't talk. Yeah, and Dog said he was cool. He didn't want to talk to you in the paperwork.
Mark
That's what you said is going off of what
that whole Main Street shit. That was your play. I had nothing to do with it. I was a victim.
Only 1 month after the indictment of the Main Street Mafia Crips, on March 9th, 2011, Cash Jones, aka WACK100, would appear in Texas State Court to have his charges finally dismissed from that 2006 unlawful possession of a firearm case, where he was caught with multiple firearms and ammunition. The stated reason for the dismissal was not lack of evidence or a violation of WACK100's rights, as he claims, but based on the paperwork, WACK100's gun case was dismissed in the interest of justice. So investigating this story, we tapped in with our brother Duse M from Chuck's, a very popular California-based media company. They really tapped into the streets, and you know, Duse M's, man, this is somebody who, when it comes to WACK100, and he's done extensive research on this guy. He really breaks down, you know, how WACK100, you know, and why he concocted this whole improper search and seizure thing. So this is my question. So Wack has addressed this before, right? Because we know the story real. We got the paperwork. He can't dispute it. It's a real case. He really got caught with hella guns as a felon in Texas. With other people. And his brother was a felon, right? So it was two felons that got caught. Right.
Right.
So has he ever explained how these charges got dropped? Because you sent me the paperwork and I see what it say, and it says in the interest of justice.
I sent you the video where he claims that it was dismissed for illegal search and seizure, right? Now, within that same paperwork that you got, I got that paperwork from the clerk of Wheeler County, Texas, the deputy clerk, old Debbie McLaughlin, right? And you probably can see that on the email, right?
Right.
To verify where I got it from. And there was a motion to suppress the evidence, which essentially argued fruits of a poisonous tree based upon the argument that this was an illegal search and seizure.
Right, but I saw that. And the judge denied that.
Right. Now, Wack, I'm going to send you the thing where Wack is saying that's how his case got dismissed.
I get pulled over and the search happened in Texas, right? So immediately, that's why they had the Fed hold. They like, well, yeah, you know, he crossed the state line, but you can't prove. You can't prove none of that. How you know I didn't pick it up in Texas? If she found something. Wheeler County, there you go. Cass Jones, Wheeler County. Them motherfuckers. Hey, bro, shout out to Texas for having audio and video on the front of their squad cars. Because if I'd have been in Cali Beach, I'd have been fucked. I'd have had to take it. Yeah, because they have to write the report based on the audio, the video and the audio. Yeah. Like if I'd have been California, it'd have been my word against theirs, but the ex-con word against theirs or how they got it. Them niggas could have said they saw something on the back seat. They could have said all kind of shit. But because they had audio and video, that's what saved them.
It's the law offices of Hupy and Abraham.
Call Hupy and Abraham, right?
Right. So basically, Wack is lying about why this case got dismissed, and we know that because we contacted the clerk in Texas. They sent the paperwork, and it clearly states that his motion to suppress was denied because the judge found that none of his rights got violated. They did the right kind of search, and this is what they found. So then when they had the right probable cause. So he didn't get that evidence suppressed. So then when I see the motion to dismiss and the judge grants it, and I see it's a list of all of these things that it could be.
Right.
And it's a lot of
checked.
You said what?
One of the boxes is checked.
Right, only one of the boxes is checked. But the things that it could be were surprising because it was like lack of evidence. Nope, that's not the problem. Illegal search and seizure. Nope, that's not the problem. Like I think it said something like the person that died or something. It was like a few different reasons why they would drop the case. And none of those things were X'd off except for this thing that they call in the interest of justice. What's your take on what does that mean when a person get a case dismissed? Like what is in the interest of justice? What does that usually mean?
That was the first time I ever heard it, right?
So in the interest of justice essentially means that the prosecution filed that motion to dismiss the case. So WACK100's attorneys and WACK100 had to convince the prosecution that it would be in the interest of justice that two ex-felons crossing federal state lines, making it traveling interstate commerce, making it a federal case, that sending out that message is that it's cool. It's in the interest of justice that we don't prosecute this dude, which is a far-fetched reach, right?
Especially in Texas. When it's people that got 5 years for just weed in Texas.
Don't mess with Texas.
You know what I'm saying? So this is my other question. So like you said, he's trafficking guns across state lines. Him and his brother are already convicted felons. Somehow, some way, they get their charges dropped. Why did this thing never go federal?
Right? The feds have put a Fed hold on him off of the top. He admitted to the police in a statement to the trooper, Darren Chase, that they had came from California and he was going to pick up his mother for because she can't travel. But the dude, once WACK100 says that he got a bail, his brother didn't get bail. They let him out first. He only had $180, but he had a black card. He says that a white man picked him up, him and his brother, but the bail bonding was closed until a couple of days later. How did you? And then he said the airport was 50 miles away. He was transferred to Beaumont, a federal facility or some kind of holding facility in Beaumont. He was in jail for not just a night or overnight to the next day. He says 6-7 days later, he was still in jail on a hold, and that the feds came all the way to where he was at to tell him, hey, look, we don't want to pick up the case. Like, why would the feds come talk to you in person?
Right, they just wouldn't pick it up.
Or they would fax over information to the jail or to the district attorney in that city. Now, y'all can pick it up. We can't do it. Why did they have to come speak to you face to face and then you get a bail? You know what I'm saying?
And then they don't pick it up. So this was the interesting thing I'm gonna put in there, and it's gonna come with the story. Like I said, we working on the story.
With Lawline, come for your CLE, stay to advance your practice. Try Lawline for free today.
Within 1 month, so in my research, and this is a little spoiler, man. So you know what I'm saying? Within the research, that Main Street Mafia case, where WACK100, we know by now, was caught on the wiretap. The indictment for that case was February 2011. That's when those guys got indicted. Now, they end up, the case getting dropped in June, but they got indicted in February 2011. WACK100 got...
was going on before that.
Huh?
But the case, see...
Yeah, the case started in 08. So, yeah, I know the case started in 08, and they was investigating it that whole time. Wack was caught on wiretap in 08, but they actually didn't file the charges to 2011.
Because went to jail.
Coincidentally, a month later, WACK100 gets his Texas gun case dropped almost a month to the day in March of 2011. And
you did your calculation.
You can check the dates. I was gonna say you can check the dates. They indicted Del Dog and Main Street Mafia Crips in February 2011 after a 3-year investigation or 4-year investigation. And a month later, WACK100 got his gun case dropped in Texas.
It's your boy, Akademiks Guapo. Street Certified News, man. The most reputable source for urban media. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for staying tuned to this 2-part series.
Right.
Shout out L Prophet, man. Shout out Duse M. And like I said, man, really the moral of the story is a lot of these guys be lying about who they is, they life or whatever, and they perpetuating images that are not positive for the kids. And it's even more hypocritical because they perpetuate images that they not living even in the first place. So, hey, like I said, man, Street Certified News, the most reputable source for urban media. We appreciate you, man. Please hit that like, comment, subscribe, man. We love you. We out.
Shout out my bro, Street Certified News, El Guapo. You already know what it is. Chi-Town, nigga. Shout out to the Chi Rat, man. El Guapo getting that Guapo too. But look, we're going to go ahead and end this. I don't know what happened with my camera. Maybe Maria that messed it up coming up in here, but we're going to figure it out. Until the next time, y'all hit that like button if you already haven't. The fact that the feds came to talk to him, but not talk to his brother, and then he get out and his brother don't get out, just let you know what went on. Reggie sent them. He got some information, and he gave him the information. Salute to everybody in the Blue Wrench Mob. Salute to everybody that supported. We out of here. Damu Keyway Conversations.